What's good, everybody? I hope everybody's staying nice and cool during this little quarantine. But I'm gonna skip the intro and everything and just hop on right into the video because our good friends over at ESPN compiled an NBA list of the all-time 74 greatest players in history. And if it's one thing I could describe about this list is maybe atrocious, convoluted, uninformed. But I kind of want to stretch it to 3 words though, and just keep it simple for you guys. Trash as fuck. I've seen a lot of lists in my life, but I mean, just things like this, like it's something that confuses people after a while. Now, reading this off, ESPN NBA expert panel voted on thousands of head-to-head matchups, taking into consideration both total career value and peak performance. Remember that, guys. Career value and peak performance. Just keep that in mind once you go through this. So, starting at number 74, we have Artis Gilmore. He was a great player back in the 70s for the Bulls. You have Dikembe 73. Okay. You have Damian Lillard 72. I could tell a lot of people are gonna feel a little funny about that, but I mean it's good for right now. Like, he still has to prove himself. He has to get to the finals and win it. And there's just a lot of things he still needs to do in the postseason. Bob Lanier 71. Alright. A lot of people don't know about him, but he was pretty straight back in the day. Pretty physical dude. Number 70, we have TP, Tony Parker. And you have Bernard King 69. And you have Pete Maravich 68. Pete Maravich over Tony. I'm probably nitpicking, but I mean, Tony has 4 championships. Pete Maravich has none. I mean, Pete Maravich was a better scorer, but I say his game is less complete than Tony Parker's, you know? So it's like, I don't know what that says. But I mean, anyways, let's just move on. Number 67, you have Alex English. He was a pretty good scorer back in the day. Dave Cowens. I mean, okay. Let me not pick on the older era. Let me not pick on him. I'm trying to be fair here, okay? I'm trying to be fair. Number 65, you have Paul Gasol. Is that too low? I don't know. It's kind of rough to rate Paul Gasol because he was a great power forward back in the 2000s, but I mean, it might be just right. I don't know. I need to see what's up ahead in this list. Number 64, you have Earl Pearl Monroe. Okay. You have Alonzo Mourning 63. Dennis Rodman 62. You have the Chief Robert Perry 61. And at number 60, you have Willis Reed, the man that was famously part of the team that gave the Knicks his only championship. And ever since then, nothing but tears, man. Nothing but tears. At number 59, we have Bob McAdoo. Okay, great scorer. 58, Manu Ginobili. 57, you have Clyde the Glide. And then 56, you have Ray Allen. 55, you have Vince Carter. There's no universe that exists that Vince Carter is better than Ray Allen. I mean, Ray Allen has 2 championships, one of the greatest shooters of all time. And I feel like he has more of a game than Vince Carter because VC, like, even though he had a straight career, he turns out to be just a dunker. Like, he's a career of unfulfilled promise because a lot of people rated him higher back then. I just feel like Ray Allen, having Vince Carter ranked above Ray Allen is slight disrespect, but I'll let that go, I guess. 54, Paul Pierce. Okay, rated above Vincent Ray. I'll take that. Number 53, Gary Payton. So, y'all mean to tell me that he's not top 50 greatest player of all time still? See, this is the part where this list gets a little bit dicey. Like, you see a lot of bull going on, like a whole lot of bull. But let's just keep going. Let's keep going. 52, you got. You know what? I love Tracy McGrady, but let me not just be biased. He falls right outside the top 50. I mean, he had an unfulfilled career too because of injuries, but it's you gotta keep facts. I mean, he didn't make it out the second round. He, like I said, struggled with injuries. He could have been greater than what he was, but outside top 50, okay, I'll take that. Number 51, we have Big Game James Worthy. Number 50, we. Okay. Here's the best part. Wes Unseld, number 50. He averaged 10 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game in his career. And surprisingly, in his rookie season in 1969, he won the Most Valuable Player and Rookie of the Year. by averaging, guess what? 13 points and 18 rebounds. That's Andre Drummond's stats right there. That's literally any typical big man in this league. They could put up those stats in their sleep. And you mean to tell me that he is on the 50 greatest players list outside of Gary Payton? But Payton has a championship and one of the best defenders of all time? You really gonna sit here and tell me that? Hey, this is where it gets started. Trust me. This is where it gets started. Reggie Miller, 49. Reggie Miller is not better than Ray Allen. I've been telling my people this time and time again. Reggie Miller was a great player in the 90s in his own right, but Ray Allen was just a better player. He broke most of his three-point records. He's arguably a better ball handler and a better rim slasher. And it's just crazy to me how people still rate Reggie over Ray Allen. And people are like, oh, how about the next game we scored 13 points in such and such seconds? Well, okay, let's keep it spade to spade then. I'll play. How about Ray Allen's three-pointer in the NBA Finals? How about his performance in the first round against the Chicago Bulls in 09? How about his performance against Orlando in the same year? If you really want to keep a spade a spade, let's put Reggie's comparisons next to Ray Allen's and let's see who really had a better career. And number 48, Bill Walton. One of the most overrated centers in NBA history, in my opinion. I mean, it's one of those other dudes, just like T-Mac. He has an unfulfilled career. And you could probably argue that, okay, it's not unfulfilled because he has a championship, but you can't argue that he dropped off a cliff right after that championship. He barely played above 50 games after that. So that's just my only gripe with Bill Walton. He may have been a great player in the coveted 70s, but hey, I just don't see it. Number 47, George Gervin. Number 46, Dominique Wilkins. Anthony Davis, 45. Now, let me ask you guys a real solid question. Let's just put bias aside because I know I have some Laker fans watching. What has Anthony Davis done to become top 50 greatest players in history? What has he done? Because if I look at his resume, he landed in a mediocre situation in New Orleans. He hasn't made it out the second round. And while he's putting up great stats, he only played over 70 games twice in his career. So if you look at that and just put hindsight 2020, how the hell is he a top 5 greatest NBA player of all time? Just riddle that for me while you watch this video. 44, Elvin Hayes. Way better than Wes Unseld in my opinion, but hey, okay. 43, Rick Barry, the granny underhand free throw dude. 42, Russell Westbrook. Okay. Bob Cousy, number 41. Now let's just go back to the beginning article or about what this base of this list was: career achievements and peak performance. Now, Bob Cousy does have 9, 10 rings, while Russell Westbrook doesn't have any. But let's just keep this 100% realistic here. The game of basketball or football, any sport that you play, is a subject of evolution, because no matter how you slice it, as the years go on, there will always be better players out there to surpass the ones before them. Russell Westbrook, he averaged a triple-double twice, won an MVP, and if you really just if we're just talking straight skill set, if you put Russell Westbrook and Bob Cousy head to head, come on now. Like, let's keep it real here. If they walked up to an empty gym right now and Russell Westbrook was like, hey, run up those 11 championships right now in this one-on-one, what do y'all think's gonna happen? Come on now. If you think otherwise, then you have a f***ing problem. A pure problem. So moving on to number 40, you have CP3. And at number 39, you have Walt Clyde Frazier. Okay, cool. And then at number 38, you have Bob Pettit. Big game Bob Pettit. Now, in his era, he was one of the most dominant. And I'm just saying that just so y'all think I'm not completely trashing on the 60s and the 70s. I'm not doing that, but let's just keep this realistic. Like I said with the Cousy Russell conversation, let's be honest with ourselves. And that's just my issue, man. It's like, is there any consideration of just pure skill in basketball being put into play into this? But like I said before, it's career achievements and peak performance. Peak performance. At number 37, you have Patrick Ewing. And at number 36, you have Kevin McHale. Okay, I like that. Jason Kidd, 35. George Mikan, 34.
When we played, we just had a slab of rubber on a canvas top, and that was it. Come on, chest pass, chest pass. Come on, Bob, think quick.
I'm not even going to waste my breath on this one. I refuse to. Number 33, John Havlicek. A lot of people say he's underrated, but I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. James Harden, 32. You have Isaiah Thomas, 31. Steve Nash, 30. Allen Iverson, 29. John Stockton, 28. Whew, boy, people show love him some John Stockton, huh? They sure do. But that's another player that I have on my list. Is overrated. I understand that he is second all time in assists. I understand he's second all time in steals. But John Stockton? The only thing that I feel like he has over a bunch of players in NBA history is longevity. Because if you really break his game down, he's a great in-game facilitator. I'll give him that. He is an excellent leader. But when I hear people say that he is an excellent defender, I just cringe simply because if you just look up all his games from the mid-90s before they made the finals, this man was getting cooked repeatedly in the regular season and the playoffs. And especially in the playoffs because he was getting cooked by names like Gary Payton, left off the top 50. He was getting cooked by Kevin Johnson. He was even getting cooked by Terry Porter in one series. So you mean to sit here and tell me that John Stockton was such an elite defender? He's such a great dynamic player. I don't even think he's better than Chris Paul. And number 27, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay, but I feel like it's too soon. But hey, we could revisit this list like 5 years from now and see where he ranks. And I feel like it'll be a much higher. No disrespect to Giannis. So let's just check back in a couple of years. Dwayne Wade, 26. One of my biggest gripes about reading certain lists is that nobody seems to want to give D Wade the appropriate props that he deserves. None. 26 all time? I say at least top 15. I mean, have you seen... oh, man.